well tonight, I can tell.
Did you skip naps again today?
Pretty much.
Okay, the move to Carmel. Not the move so much as what you're saying in here, is that about in 1975, 35 years ago, you and Dickie started coming down to Carmel just for enjoyment, right? Just for pleasure. I mean,
I see what you mean. Yeah, well, how that started.
How did it all start? Yeah.
Something was. I can't think why I did it. It wasn't like me. I didn't do things by myself.
Well, there was that one thing you talk about where when you first drove up the coast with Rod and Eula way back in 1948, moving out here, that you sort of saw this Carmel and you'd heard about it and you wanted to really check it out.
But Dick was gone. He often had to do that. For the office, he had to make a trip. He went down south or on the East Coast. He'd be gone for about a week.
Yeah.
And this time, I just took it into. I never do anything like this. It's so unlike me. But I decided I'd go down and see what are we? I can't say the word.
Carmel.
Carmel. And I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But maybe that's just in my head.
Yeah.
Because I can't believe I would do it. Anyhow, maybe I read up about it in the library or something. But when Dick came home, not right away, but a weekend came up, we didn't have anything else to do, and I said, let's go down and see what Carmel is like, you know. And we didn't really know anybody that had ever gone there. You know how close it is, but nobody talks about it. You couldn't find out much about it, but you knew that it was big in the travelogues we would read.
Yes, Sunset Magazine, that kind of stuff.
All that. So that's what we did. We went down one Saturday and stayed overnight, and of course, from then on, we were sold.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the shopping and the quaintness and cuteness?
Yeah, everything. It was nothing like either one of us had ever. We see movies about places like that, because it really was. They kept it like the olden days, you know. They didn't try to get modernized too much then.
Still don't, yeah.
They still don't really, but it was really unmodernized then.
Well, I don't think there's a traffic light in town.
Probably not.
No, there isn't. And I know some people complain that there's no street lights, you know, so it's too dark at night to go out walking and things like that. So,
yeah, they keep it that way.
So at some point, you decided to rent a place down here and move. Isabella. Right.
We were always moving. I don't know how many places we lived in over the years. If we got bored, we'd look at it, or we like to see other parts of how they operate. Everything was new to us because we were, farm folk, really.
I thought you were fairly well settled into Winona. I'd always thought, oh, they're going to be in Winona for forever.
We were along there. I can't remember where they came.
It's like 10 or 15 years, yeah, but but you were ready for another move, and so you go to Carmel where you enjoy everything.
Yeah, we looked it over, stayed overnight for a week, you know, probably went down Saturday morning, stayed and came home Sunday. And from then on, we made quite a few trips like that, but then we decided something we wanted to get out of where we were. And and so it was instead of going to another place around here, no, we decided to try that. And Dick was willing to make the drive. See, he did have a drive every day, but he would stay up here. He did a lot.
You weren't like Rod and Eula that they had a place in Tahoe and Palm Springs.
No.
They would go. They went down to Florida a lot. Was it Eula's parents that were down in Florida, or Rod? It wasn't Rod's. It was Eula's.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Then you moved to Isabella.
Now I can say Isabella, and we lived there for ages, but I can't remember where it is. And is that in Carmel?
Yes, that's just up.
Up here, up the road a piece.
That's just up the road a few blocks, and I remember visiting there, but I don't think I ever visited more. I was away, where I'm not sure where. I was always out somewhere, but I remember seeing the place, but once or twice. But you guys lived there for quite a while, right? I mean, you liked Isabella.
You know, we went to so many places. They were so much alike, and so different. And the things we did were big to us, but they're just common. And I have trouble remembering much of anything interesting.
Well, the names that you were writing about, what you say, it was 3.5 years you were there. Jim Algar was the owner.
I never heard of him.
And his wife, Persis.
No, I never.
And your neighbors were Les and Doris Bringsford.
No.
Sally Davis, who gave you Cleo the cat. Cleo the cat. And
I have no memory.
Tish and Liz and Lucy and the Ebers and Polly and the Baroness and Christina and Mary Paoli.
I don't know.
None
of them are. Do I have a memory of now?
You played bridge. You joined the bridge clubs.
Right.
And
I played bridge with the girls.
Mm-hmm.
And during whenever they had it, and Dick and I had favorite couples that we invited in and had played bridge with.
So, and then you moved into the Ray's house, Dr. Ruth Ray. I remember that too.
You probably have a much better memory of it. I can't remember that at all. I don't get any mental picture.
Big house, modern kitchen, lots of closet space and fireplaces.
It was a big place, is all I can remember.
Big place.
I had to say, the only thing I can say is I can't picture it, I can't remember anything about it, but it was big.
I walked by it on my walk.
Right now? Is it around here?
Yeah. Well, it's also on Isabella, yeah. And you were there 2 years. I think that was the one you were kicked out at Christmas time, right? Said he's taking it back. And that's when you decided to. No, you leased one more house on Ocean View Drive. I don't remember that one. 6 years. Well, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, the name is much more familiar than anything else you pulled up. Ocean View Drive. I must have used it longer.
6 years you were there, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, and you could that one you could see the bay from, and that's the one you got booted. That's the one that caused you to buy. That was the one where they told you on Thanksgiving in 1985 that they wanted it back. And
before Christmas.
Yeah, just before Christmas they wanted you out. And you had to go buy something, and that's when you bought this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once you bought this place, you swore you were never going to move again. It was in that house, I remember, that we had a Thanksgiving when all the electricity went out, and you had to use candles. And Remember that one?
Yes, vaguely.
How did you cook the turkey?
I don't know.
So you had Cleo and Muffin and Kiki. Those were your cats. Do you remember those cats?
No, just the names. No, not pictures of them. I wouldn't know what color any of them were.
And it was in that time that you started, yeah, I was over in England. You started traveling a lot more you always did an annual, seemed like,
Yeah.
a trip to somewhere every
Yes,
year.
we took a lot of long trips.
But you took cruises then, too.
I can only remember going on one cruise. We weren't too fond of them. I mean, it wasn't a thrill, like some people think it's such a thrill, but...
Yeah, Patty and Gisela swear by it.
Mm-hmm. But Dick and I both agreed that it was so cut and dried, you know, and...
Regimented. You can only do so much, and 9 o'clock is shuffleboard, and 10 o'clock is...
Yeah. They do a very good job, but we went... I know we went once, and we went on a tour just down the road a piece, down to below the Mexican border.
Uh-huh. Acapulco type thing, or Ensenada. I remember one time you took off from San Francisco that I thought you were going to Alaska then, or Vancouver or someplace. You were going north. But it was big. It was a big going away party you had, and all sorts of people were there. That was the fun thing, is you got to throw a party on deck and have everybody saying goodbye to you. Bon voyage to you.
I don't remember anything about that. And when I was talking about the trips, that was on the boat. We went down below in Mexico.
Yeah. Right. That was on a cruise. I think you've done cruise ships, smaller ones, a number of times.
And if you wanted to go somewhere and see something, particularly, you know, some area, cruises are lovely because they do take care of you beautifully. You've been on one, haven't you?
I never in my life have been on a cruise.
Okay, well, it's nothing to... You haven't missed anything. I think I know your likes and dislikes.
Do you remember taking Maxine Shore's class, Writing for Publication?
When you say Maxine Shore, it rings a bell somewhere, but...
She was a teacher?
Yeah. It was a teacher, writing teacher.
And is that where you got to know LaVon Andrews? Or did you know LaVon before that?
I have no idea. I know when you say it, I know that I used to know somebody named LaVon, but I haven't anything in my mind that connects with it. Maybe if I tried it.
She went to Hollywood to try and make it big. She wanted to be an actress, I think, right, or a singer or something. And she was your hairdresser. I remember LaVon. And it was during that period, I've still got a lot of your articles. You wrote article after article that got published. So it was a pretty good course, this Maxine taught, because you got published all over the place.
Right. What was it that Patty just came across? But that was long after this. An article... I can't remember where she got.
Well, that's the article about you going to down south, right? About traveling.
I don't know. I don't think I read it very closely. I can't remember. I can't remember anything. But she just found it somewhere and gave it to me. You know, here's this article in handwriting. That I wrote it for class. It was a
class assignment. Yeah.
Assignment, yeah.
Well, and while you were down here in Carmel, that's when you met Kaz. Remember Kaz and Gura and...
Yes. Good Lord, I lived with it. I mean, they were Every day I would see them. Both of them. And I hadn't thought of them in 20 years, or whatever it is.
Kaz in her Cadillac. I remember her big, shiny Cadillac. She loved that Cadillac.
And I really can't see her face or see. And who was the man?
Gura, the gardener?
Gura, the gardener.
He's the one that started off, and then he put you on to whoever you used before Tiffany. You know, there was a series of Gura directed people that, you know, came in and did the gardening for you for years now. I mean, that connection, that thread of Gura to somebody winding up with Tiffany, it's a long thread. It goes back 20 years, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever hear from any of them?
No.
No. Is Kaz still around, or she died? Did she?
I have no idea.
You don't know.
I wouldn't even know if her name was in the paper.
Yeah.
Because Kaz was the nickname, and if they printed something about her, it would be Kazahua. You know, that's her last name.
Uh-huh.
What her first name was, I have no idea. But did I keep diaries then that you ever?
I don't know. My Bible is your autobiography.
Oh.
That you wrote, and
I don't even remember doing that. It couldn't have been very long because I didn't put much time on it, did I?
It's 150 pages.
Really?
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
I don't remember doing
hundreds and hundreds of pages.
I didn't know that. I thought of that the other day.
1991 you wrote this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 20 years.
20
years ago. Yeah. So you could do an update now. The last 20 years. Bring it up to date. Okay, well that's how you got down here. Dickie was happy down here until he had trouble with his knee and got that replacement, and then he couldn't really play golf that well, and it really changed him.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad drive. Well, what he did was just cut out. He didn't cut out Carmel. He cut out the office.
Yeah.
And it was high time. You know, he really was. The office was could get along.
It frustrated him.
Yeah.
Those last few years that he was go in, because it was just, you know, he'd get really, they're just not doing this right, and they're doing that right, or whatever.
Right.
And
young people were coming in and taking
yeah.
over, and he couldn't handle it.
So that's how you got here and what you're doing, and now you have the good life with cutie little Sugar here.
Little Sugar.
Get Cutie on camera here for a second. Say hello to the camera, Cutie. Okay.